In this screencast, we will learn about minimum wage. We will understand that it is a floor and what it does to workers hired in a perfectly competitive labor market and a monopsony. We'll also look at the impact it has on the marginal physical product and the marginal revenue product. Minimum wage is a price control that's imposed by the government. What it does is it says that firms cannot pay a wage rate lower than the minimum wage established by the government. Therefore, it is a floor because it is set above the equilibrium wage rate. Because it's set above the equilibrium wage rate, it's a binding floor. When we look here at this perfectly competitive labor market, we see that the firm is a wage taker and the market wage rate right now is at $8. If the government were to impose a $10 minimum wage, we can see here on this graph that at $10, the quantity supplied of labor is greater than the quantity demanded of labor. Because there is this disequilibrium, unemployment is created. So again, to calculate unemployment, you take the quantity supplied minus the quantity demanded. Now, the impact that this has on the firm is that as the wage takers, they're taking that $10 minimum wage. So their MFC of minimum wage is higher than the original MFC. We find out the profit maximizing number of workers where MFC equals MRP. And so you can see here for the firm that the quantity of workers hired because of the minimum wage is less. A monopsony has a graph where the MFC is greater than the supply curve. You're still finding the optimal number of workers where MFC equals MRP. If the government imposed that $10 minimum wage on the monopsony, what you would see here is that the number of workers that they would be willing to hire, the quantity demanded, is going to be lower than the quantity supplied. Remember to go to the supply curve when you're looking at the quantity supplied and not the MFC. And again, the same thing holds true. The distance between the quantity supplied and the quantity demanded is the number that are unemployed. When we're talking about minimum wage, we can also look and see what happens to the MRP when the government imposes a minimum wage. The MRP of the firm is downward sloping, and that's because of diminishing returns. Originally, the MRP intersects at a quantity of 50 workers. But when the government imposes the minimum wage, the MRP is higher. It's at 35 workers. So when the government imposes a minimum wage, the quantity of workers goes down and the MRP increases. Remember that you calculate MRP with the marginal physical product times the price of the good. The price of the good isn't changing, but the marginal product is increasing. And the reason that the marginal product is increasing is because of diminishing returns.